The King's Curse, the secret of his seventh wife. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between misty mountains and dark forests, there reigned a king known for his wisdom and unmatched wealth. King Theron had everything a ruler could desire: vast lands, treasures beyond count, and 7 beautiful wives. Each wife was from a distant land, chosen for their rare beauty and talents. Yet, despite his riches and power, the king harbored a deep, unspoken sorrow that lingered in the halls of his grand castle. His 7 wives, Leora, Maris, Ivelda, Saphira, Nemia, Calith, and Elora, lived in different wings of the palace, each having their own space to rule as queen. Though they appeared to live in harmony, there was a quiet tension among them, for each knew that the king kept a secret, one that weighed heavily on his soul. At night, the king often disappeared. His absence was so frequent that whispers of enchantments and curses began to swirl through the palace. His wives, curious and increasingly suspicious, would try to follow him, but each time they did, they found themselves lost in the vastness of the castle, only to awaken in their chambers with no memory of how they returned. The 7th wife, Elora, the youngest and most inquisitive of all, grew determined to uncover the king's mystery. One evening, as the autumn moon hung low in the sky, Elora followed him more carefully than ever before, her steps as silent as shadows. She watched as the king descended a secret stairway hidden behind a tapestry in the throne room, one she had never seen before. The stairway spiraled down into the earth, deep beneath the castle. Elora's heart pounded as she crept behind him. At the end of the stairs, the king entered a dimly lit chamber. The room was circular, its walls lined with towering statues of women, each with a sorrowful expression. In the center of the room stood a stone pedestal upon which sat a simple, weathered chest. The king knelt before it. Elora watched from the shadows as King Theron opened the chest, revealing 7 delicate glass jars, each filled with a glowing, swirling mist. The light from the jars flickered with life. The king whispered the names of his wives, one by one, as he lifted each jar in turn. But when he came to the 7th jar, Elora saw something strange. The mist inside was darker, swirling faster than the others, almost as if it were trying to escape. Suddenly, Elora felt a cold wind whip through the chamber. The statue's eyes glowed faintly, and the king turned toward her, his expression filled with sorrow. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his voice heavy with regret. Elora stepped forward, her fear overcome by the need to understand. "What are those jars? What is this place?" The king sighed and looked at the 7th jar in his hand. "These are the souls of my past wives," he confessed, his voice barely a whisper. "Each of them died under mysterious circumstances, and I could not bear to let them go. So, I sought the help of dark magic to preserve their spirits, binding them to me and this castle. But the magic came at a cost. The 7th wife, each time, is cursed to discover the secret, and in doing so, seals her own fate." Elora's blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" she whispered. "You were always meant to be the 7th, the king said, his eyes filled with sorrow. "And now, you too will become one of them." Before Elora could react, the mist from the 7th jar began to pour out, enveloping her. She tried to scream, but her voice was swallowed by the darkness. The last thing she saw was the king's tearful gaze as her world